Welcome to Two Girls, One Down. We're officially halfway through the 2025 NFL season. And Destiny, go ahead, Corinne.
It's the halftime show.
Woo!
Halftime. I can't believe it's halfway through this season.
Crazy.
But, let's get a recap, of the year here as we go. And starting off with, I think, the saddest part of the season. Russell Wilson still sits on the bench, although rich. He's not dead quite yet, but his playing days seem to be flatlined. Once a Super Bowl champ and 10-time Pro Bowler with over 46,000 passing yards, he's now busy holding a clipboard for the Giants. Through 3 weeks in 25, he managed only 78 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had 3 interceptions and a rough 34 QBR. His Week 3 meltdown, 2 picks and a 22-9 loss to the Chiefs. Got him what you got benched for Rook Jackson Dart, whose name unfortunately rhymes with fart. But don't worry about him. He's gotten paid big. His 1 year guarantees him $10.5 million, with incentives up to $21 million. So that's a lot of money to put that out of work banner on his LinkedIn. Between that, and his marriage and what he's got going for him, I think he's going to be fine. But definitely the biggest cringe of this first half for me.
I'd agree to that. Poor Russell Wilson getting benched.
R.I.P.
But, Jackson Dart's doing pretty well, so I think the Giants made a good call there.
Raiders are having a terrible season. We're going to say the Raiders are definitely on the road to the RIP life because even their mediocrity feels tired. They started the 2025 season with a new head coach, Pete Carroll, and a new general manager, John Spytek. It was supposed to be this fresh start. Instead, it's been that same lame movie we've seen for 2 decades, just with different actors. In the first 7 games, the Raiders are looking at a 2-5, averaging the league worst 14 points per game while giving up over 25. They've been shut out once, blown out multiple times, and somehow still managed to make every loss look like it's the first time it's ever happened. Offense can't finish drives. They only score touchdowns on just 35% of trips to the red zone, which ranks near dead last in the NFL. This is like a no-fly zone. It's like that TSA down in Vegas these days. Offensively, it's not looking better for the Raiders. They're allowing everyone to score all the time. I don't even think the analytics can sugarcoat it. Their expected record is going to be, 1 to 5.5, which means that math doesn't math. No one believes in them. Vegas isn't. Pete Carroll was brought on to bring this energy and optimism, but at this point, it looks like just another bad USC run with a better stadium. The Raiders aren't just bad, they're predictably bad, and that recaps what we already knew for this season.
Pretty much. In a more positive light, we have some backup QBs that are absolutely killing the game. We got Mac Jones in San Francisco filling in for Brock Purdy, who's got, what is it called? Turf toe, right?
Ooh, turf
Yeah,
toe.
he's been out for a while now, but Mac Jones is coming in strong, and he's embracing that kind of relief pitcher role and doing it pretty well. He's at completing about 67% of his passes for the season so far. 1,832 yards, 10 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, sure. But I think that was more in the beginning of the season. He's kind of evening out, figuring out where he needs to be in the game offensively. I know we kind of already touched on it, talking about Russell Wilson's downfall, but Jackson Dart for the Giants here was initially the backup here, but he has now proved that he can start and he can be a QB that shows up. One of the few QBs in the last 20 years to be a 3-0 or better team in his big debut. In the season so far, he's already thrown for over 1,100 yards, he's thrown 10 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. So he's kind of proving himself and proving that he's not just a backup. He's actually could be a very notable starter. Additionally, more recent news, we have the Arizona Cardinals pretty much claiming Jacoby Brissett as their starter, at least for the next 4 weeks, as Kyler Murray was recently placed on IR due to a foot injury here. Brissett did step in, and the offense actually improved, averaging 25.7 points per game compared to 20.6 under Kyler Murray. He has started 53 of his 87 career games and does have that veteran role to kind of bring in that knowledge and that reading of play calls here. But backup QBs definitely stealing the headlines. It's all the rage now. Not just backups anymore, right? They're more of rising stars, proving that they actually deserve to be in the game and start out in the NFL here. So Mac Jones really showing accuracy and poise. Jackson Dart showing some rookie fire underneath him and some moxie, and Jacoby Brissett showing up with as a veteran here, really calm and knowing the game, able to move that ball down the field.
Yeah, the QBs are definitely the star of 2025. Let's see how they fall out when it comes closer to playoffs in the second half.
Yeah, we'll see. And I think also talking about veteran QBs, right? We got Joe Flacco, one of Corinne's favorites.
Joe Flacco is still solid. I mean, in Joe, we trust. He recently threw for 470 yards and 3 touchdowns with a passer rating of 109.4. He leads the NFL with 11 passed touchdowns, 250 yards for passing yards since he's been traded to the Bengals in week since. Also, since that time, the Bengals have allowed for only 36 points per game and over 470 yards per game, which means that defense is really spirited under Flacco. He had 470 yards in week 9, the most ever in a game by a player considered decrepit and old, which means over 40, right? Sad. His 4th touchdown gave that Bengals that 42-41 lead with less than a minute remaining regulation. But then the Bears just kind of said, no way. That's when they took it back over to the lead to win, which definitely was one of the more exciting, surprising games.
Very
of this
surprising.
first half.
Yes.
Just moving on to surprising things. I mean, the first half's been really surprising. What else has been really surprising, Destiny?
Well, I mean, we want to talk about Sam Darnold, right? Now, I think a lot of people kind of wrote him off. He's been in the game for a while, and we weren't really paying attention to him. But, he's actually kind of proving himself. Definitely in the last matchup against the Commanders, Darnold completed all 16 of his passes in the first half for 282 yards and 4 touchdowns. And when you talk about that kind of playing and efficiency, we haven't seen that for, I think, at least 20 years here. No quarterback since Tom Brady has started a game with a touchdown on each of his team's first 4 possessions and achieving that 100% completion rate. That game was wild to watch. I mean, he was just sinking balls into players' hands left and right. It was crazy.
Wow, double fisting.
Double fisting the game, pretty much. Finished that Sunday Night Football game with only 3 incomplete passes. One of them was an interception, but his O-line did support him and protect him, and 0 sacks there. So that stat really puts him into history, the only other quarterback in Super Bowl era to get at least 325 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and 3 or less incompletions in a single game is Johnny Unitas back in
Johnny United.
in the 60s.
United?
Yeah. So, I mean, making history.
He's so old. It's been so long. Destiny doesn't even know his name.
I wasn't even alive.
Wow.
What is it? Johnny United?
Johnny, maybe I was saying it wrong. That could totally be it.
There's no way that is United.
No, it's not United.
Let's see. I mean, you weren't alive in 1967 either.
Maybe my spirit was.
Unitas?
He's a ghost. Never mind. He's made up. He's old as dirt.
He's fake.
Fake news.
He doesn't exist.
Fake news. Moving on.
How do you even say it? What is it?
I don't know.
Oh, then why are you giving me shit?
Because I thought I was someone else.
Oh.
Maybe that was a cartoon. Crap.
No, he's a real person.
Yeah. It's amazing. But it's a mystery. We'll never know. He's not even alive anymore, is he?
No, he is.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Well, congratulations, Sam Darnold.
Is he?
It's a really long
Oh, wait. No, he's definitely dead.
JK.
Oh, he died on 9/11 too.
Shit, R.I.P.
Sad.
Well, Sam Darnold, quite the record.
Yeah. More on Sam Darnold. His consistency's been really impressive.
MVP.
He's over, 70% of his passes so far in the season. Passer rating higher than a 115 and has one of the most balanced offenses in the NFL. Seahawks did look a little lost at the end of when they lost Geno Smith, but Darnold has, I think, kind of brought that momentum back to them with his timing and accuracy, at least for the first half of the season. So it'll be interesting to see how he carries them through the rest of the season. Moving into week 11 with an at-home matchup against the Cardinals and the new starting QB Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, it's been an interesting first half. I think that brings us into a good time, but let's just get a current. Let's get a recap of where we currently stand, looking at the AFC and the NFC.
Yeah, so let's see. Starting with AFC here, some familiar faces here, some that we wouldn't maybe expect. The Colts have emerged as the team to beat. They're at 7-2, leading the South behind a balanced offense, and a defense that does not give up. Patriots and Bills are neck and neck in the East. Pretty close here, 7-2 and 6-2 respectively. So AFC still in the game here. Over in the West, the Broncos are surprisingly at 7-2. Followed by the Chargers, who are at 6-3, and the former NFL Super Bowl champs, the Chiefs, are at 5-4 and looking for their next move. So we're all excited to see the Chiefs not at the top for once, and first time in 3 years.
Goodness, it's just like that same loser Raider movie we have to watch year over year. I don't want to watch Mahomes
No,
at the freaking Super Bowl
I do
again
not want to watch that show again
at all.
Give me a new matchup. Come on. But it's looking like we're gonna get that this year, which is really exciting. And then in the North, Steelers are leading 5-3, followed by the Ravens and Bengals, kind of struggling to keep up. And the Raiders and Titans, I mean, they're here, but are they really here to play? We haven't seen it yet. At least not as the standings say. In the NFC, it's also equally as competitive. The Eagles are, of course, soaring, leading the East 6-2. The rest of the division looks kind of rough. Cowboys and Commanders both under 0.5. Giants are, kind of fading. Do we attribute that to the loss of Scadaboo? Who knows?
Yes.
And then in the South, the Buccaneers surprising everyone kind of with a 6-2 start, and the Panthers are right behind them with a 5-4 record here. In the NFC North, we got the Packers leading with a 5-2, but Lions and Bears aren't really letting them run away with it. They're both still alive and in the game, so we'll see. It's kind of one of the tightest divisional races in football. And in the West, it's kind of a three-way tie. We got the Seahawks, Rams, and 49ers, all with at or more than 6 wins, and the Cardinals trailing them a little bit, but still able to make a comeback here. So should be interesting to see how it goes. Looks like the AFC is a little bit deeper at the top, with Colts, Patriots, and Broncos being a little bit more consistent in their matchups. The NFC is, I guess, a bit more chaotic, we could say, with a lot of different matchups, different records going into this second half of the 2025 season. We're thinking that the Seahawks, Eagles, and Bucks are looking playoff ready. 49ers, Packers, and Lions are really close, but it'll be very interesting to see how the 49ers perform with their current roster.
There are a lot of hurt. That would bring us into
They are, yeah.
the next part of this half report, which is looking at that IR, that RIP report, which is not looking so hot for a lot of these people. And I think it reflects in some of these divisional standings, especially looking at that NFC West. I think a lot of people probably expected a bit more, disparity between the teams. But, most of these teams are sitting at the same
They're pretty
62
close.
record
Yeah.
going into the second half of this season here. So it makes it a bit more fun, but at the same time, everybody's, looking at their hospital chart these days.
But
Into the next section,
yeah, talking about coaches that have already gone through the chopping block and maybe coaches that probably should be worried that they're up next. We already know that the head coach of the Titans was fired earlier in the season, Brian Callahan, after a 1-5 start. So not doing too hot. Just 6 games into the season. I think the Titans were like, hey, we can't keep going with this message. We can't go with this. So they got rid of him. That's the only NFL head coach that has been fired so far, but we do think, that with some of these other teams' records, there's probably some other coaches that should be maybe brushing up their resume a little bit. Brian Dabble for the Giants could be up next, and Mike McDaniel, my favorite head coach, kind of went to offensive genius to offensive confusion, right? I mean, what is he doing? We have no idea. A lot of confusing play calling, miscommunications on the field. So he may be up next, but it's yet to be seen. So we want to say RIP to the coaches that we've lost, and
only one so far, which is amazing.
Yeah, surprising, and maybe some preemptive condolences to those next up. The season's not over, but careers might be on the line. So we'll see what kind of buyouts we're going to see with potential head coach shuffling and going into the next few weeks of this season.
Yeah. Speaking of leading into next season, I don't know how many are going to make it. We've had a lot of fallen tributes this season so far. But let's start with the teams on this IR. Good news first. The Denver Broncos are the healthiest team in the league with only 28 different players appearing on the injury report through week 6. This lack of injuries, definitely contributed to their strong 7-2 start to the season. But let's remind ourselves there is such a thing as too healthy, and I'm pretty sure it's what killed Bruce Lee, right? When I'm talking life support, much like some of the other injuries repeat that we have on this hospital roll call. For a lot of these teams, the body count is piling up pretty fast. The Cowboys are at 58. The Bills are at 57, and the Lions are limping behind at 56 players on the IR.
Oof.
That's like a triage unit, right?
Yeah, do they not have their own hospital? Like,
It's looking
at
close.
this point.
Right. The one who takes the cake is the San Francisco 49ers. They are filling up Bay Area hospital beds, leading the league in hurt with an absurd 72 injured players. I mean, they're basically being held together by tape and gum they found off the streets and, some prayers and questionable optimism. I mean, Purdy's got turf toe. Kittle's got a hamstring problem. Warner's nursing's like some ankle problem.
Yeah, he
You know?
broke his ankle.
Those are some notable players. Like, that's like their best players.
Yeah.
Other notable players that aren't on the gimpiest teams in the NFL include Tucker Kraft. He's done with the year with a torn ACL. Jaden Daniels is out with the gnarliest injury known to mankind. Tyreek Hill, his knee and ACL are in trouble. Burrow, he's got turf toe. Najee Harris joined the club, hurting his Achilles. And, we can't forget Scottaboo. I really think,
Oof.
it's reflecting in the Giants' recent loss. Kyler Murray, his foot's busted, right? Somehow JJ McCarthy managed to get hurt and come back. So, I think it's a silver lining. There's hope. There's possible, but this is when we start to see the wheels fall off the bus when things are getting hurt. And for the Niners, it's been hurt this whole time, right? But I think it's a good segue into what will the future hold? Not the future rapper, but, what are we looking at when we're thinking we're going to come up here to flash into the championships and the Super Bowl, which is in our backyard?
Yes, Super Bowl will be right here at Levi's Stadium, which is not in San Francisco.
No.
Very confusing.
Yes.
But let's see. We want to get into our future predictions for AFC, NFC.
Yes.
All right. I'm predicting for the AFC, I think the Broncos. I think they're putting up pretty decent offensive numbers, over 25, almost 26 points per game, and inside the top 10 in both points and yardage. Their defense is among the stingiest, with allowing fewer than 19 points per game in the more recent weeks. So I think they have really good momentum to carry them into that playoff schedule. However, watching the game tonight against the Raiders, we are seeing them lose a significant amount of yardage for penalties. So if they keep that up, they'll kind of just be fighting against themselves down the field and not into the playoffs. What do you think for AFC?
I'm going to go with the Ravens. They're historically a really good playoff team. They're known to kind of surge late in the season. I think they kind of got a little injuries. They're getting over. And now they're going to be unstoppable. So I'm going to go Ravens with AFC.
All right. For the NFC, I will say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they started 2025 really strong. They were showing some really efficient play calls here, and starting 4-1 with pretty close wins, but they did become the first team in the NFL history to open their season with 4 wins by 3 or fewer points. So cutting it close, but a win's still a win. So we'll see how that translates into the deeper postseason and moving into the Super Bowl here. As far as Corinne, what are you thinking for the NFC?
I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions. I've been going with them all along. I mean, they're looking a little weak in this last couple games in the first half of the season, but they're averaging over 30 points a game, which is ranking on the top of the league scoring. I think they've got good balance, good players. If they can stay healthy, don't hurt St. Brown. Plus, I put money on them. So, I would like that to win. I need money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a double interest here for Corinne.
Dipping all of it. I need it all.
How much did you bet?
Like $10.
Okay, respectable.
Doesn't matter. It's about winning.
That's right.
Winning. And you know what? With that, I picked the Detroit Lions to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you think they're going to take it all?
The roar will be restored. What about you? Who do you have winning this 2025
The whole
season?
thing, I'll go with the Seahawks. I think
they're going to magically not win the
they'll magically come back and they'll just put all of their faith in their QB.
I like it.
they'll get that underdog push, you know?
Ooh,
They have
tush push.
yeah, the underdog tush push. They'll be super optimistic and they're gonna fight for it and they want it. So we'll see how they can actually carry that into the rest of the season and hopefully they can pull it off. We shall see. But overall, we're starting the second half of this 2025 season with the Raiders and Broncos. Thursday night football. Broncos definitely took the win here, 10-7. And we have some pretty exciting matchups coming up this Sunday. So we're very excited and stoked to see where the season's going to take us, who's going to get injured next, and all the hot goss for the rest of 2025. Make sure you tune in next time to Two Girls, One Down with your hosts, Destiny and Corinne. Thank you.